He said they're guilty of false and deceptive marketing and advertising, and said that the name of the product should be changed, or the content, which is chicken breast meat, should be disclosed on the menu. This guy is demanding a bunch of money for damages, attorneys, etc., etc. Have you guys ever wanted to sue or been sued for something stupid like this?
I've never been sued for that, but I have never wanted to sue for something stupid like that because it's stupid. I mean, that's pretty simple. I don't know.
That literally sounds like an old bit, like on the Phil Hendry show. For people that remember the Phil Hendry show.
Yeah.
I love that Phil sounds Hendry. Like something that would be a bit on that show.
Yeah.
Like completely made up just to get people to rile up.
But that's a real thing. And I
love Phil Hendry.
I mean,
legend.
Listen, here's what I would say. There's a lot of, like, I'm trying to think. Like, all right, so ESPN is called the worldwide leader in sports, okay? Let's just say for one reason or another, not that this is clearly happening, but let's just say, for argument's sake, some other company in the world it has a larger, like, footprint in sports somewhere else, not even in the United States. It could be somewhere else. Do they get to sue ESPN because they have the moniker worldwide leader in sports? Like, that's just stupid. Like, who cares?
Well, you could make the argument about the WWE, WWF.
Well, but I think that was also different. I don't remember the exact details of that, but they were both. I think it boiled down to who was WWF first.
Lawsuits and taxes, only here on Radio Tinder.
There you go.
Speaking of the WWF, it is National Panda Day.
Oh,
really? Look at that.
I love a good panda.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. You like some bamboo?
Well, it depends on how it's served.
Yeah. Pat Riley once told me Jamal Wilkes' jumper is silky smooth like a snowflake coming off a bamboo leaf.
Is that really what he
said?
said?
Cappy's eyes.
Is that really what he said?
Literally said that to me. I'm not even joking.
I'm starting to tear up.
Literally said those words to me.
The philosophy of Riley.
He loved Jamal Wilkes.
Well, you know, Sedano's close with Riles.
Very close.
Very close.
Very, very close.
I have to see Coach eventually.
He just calls him Coach.
Hopefully I see him during the playoffs.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I don't even remember what the Radio Tinder one was about, to be honest, at this point.
It was about...
You usually don't by the time we're done.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're done.
That's what makes the segment award-winning.
And it's presented by our friends at Tequila Mandala.
We're going to have some here tonight.
Always swipe right on Tequila Mandala. Award-winning small batch premium sippy tequila made from the finest mature agaves. Not those immature agaves. Available wherever fine tequilas are sold. Visit their website, tequilamandala.com. Demand the extraordinary with Tequila Mandala. Hey, you know who's coming up next, Cappy?
Tell me.
Our guy Balake.
Balake Harris.
Some Dodgers. You know what? We'll ask him. We'll have Lindsay ask him about that World Baseball Classic stuff. All right? So we'll do that with Balake. Get in on the Dodgers. If James Outman is not on the 40-man, forget the 40-man, the 25-man roster, it will be an outrage.
That's an outrage.
Okay?
Should be the starter on opening day, no doubt about it.
All right, let's get into all that coming up. And Miguel Vargas also getting some PT at second base. All that with Balak.
We were getting schooled by George Sedano, the most athletic guy at the station. You're really scared of DeMarco and... Come on.
Those two guys are going to run into each other.
DeMarco?
Court ain't big enough for them two boys.
Kirk?
Seriously, big boys. Soul brother. Too big. They're too big.
Resort and Casino, the tournament tip-off party, the 909 Sports Bar, the UCLA legend Baron Davis about to. BD and I worked together at Yahoo Sports many years ago. Yeah, good to see you, my man. He's going to join Sedano and Cap right now. We got signed autographs to give away. Sedano, take it away.
Thank you, Christopher. B. Diddy, good to see you, man. Thank you for hanging out with us here. Now, obviously, today is one of the most fun days on the calendar. What goes through your mind on a day like today?
Upsets.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
I've seen a couple.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Arizona.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
Go Bruins.
Stick it to him.
Go Princeton.
Bruins.
Yeah.
Go Princeton. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my school, but I mean, I was happy they beat them.
But I would say like the storyline,
Yeah.
right? Because for a lot of us, you don't get to see a lot of these smaller schools. They don't get the ESPN coverage. They don't get the ESPN highlights. You're not following the players. They don't get NIL deals.
Right.
It's just somebody somewhere is practicing and waiting for you.
Yeah.
That's funny because you were telling me the story earlier that two of these kids on some of these small schools
Yeah.
literally are playing like Little League with your son.
Dude, I got a kid at Vermont, and I got a kid on the Princeton team.
Yeah.
And these guys they weren't going to UCLA, they weren't going to Kansas, they weren't getting recruited by Duke, and they're living the NCAA tournament dream.
Absolutely.
Because like when you were playing, even though you only played 2 years of college basketball, I mean, you still, I think when you showed up at UCLA, it was still about trying to win a national championship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whereas so many guys now, it's like, boom, I got to get in and get out.
Yeah, it's a different mentality, a different philosophy now. You know, the kids who are playing at the Vermonts and the Princetons, they're not only happy to be in the tournament, but they have nothing to lose.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so a lot of times, like now colleges, we were talking about this, is do you recruit 5 freshmen that all think that they're one and done?
Right.
Right? Because 3 of them are probably like 3-year players.
Right.
But you still have to take the whole year to coach these kids to make them realize that, hey, you're not a one and done. Then you have to convince them they're not a 2 and done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's tough.
And
you
at
gotta
that
convince them
point,
to stay
they'll be
before they
transferring.
transfer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I look at the tournament and you see, you know, Duke as a 5 seed, you see Alabama now as a 2 seed, you kind of see how this whole NIL thing is starting to play out.
Yeah.
Right? And so what I think is it builds a lot of, like, it's going to be upsets.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parity.
Yeah.
Because now a superstar kid can stay home and, you know, sign a deal with, the air conditioner company
Right.
or a laundromat company
Yeah.
and now have enough money to, like, be that guy for
Yep.
that team.
Yeah, and look, I think it's great because for a long time, obviously in the college game, it was basically free labor. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? All these schools are banking big cash, particularly for the big programs, football and basketball, and the kids were not getting it. I get that they got an education. I understand there's a value to that, but not in comparison to the big money that was being made, particularly on television. When you think back to those days, like let's say NIL was around back then, and by the way, shout out.
I would be here if
Yeah.
if NIL existed.
Yeah.
I would have a room here
Yaamava?
on the weekends.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, but by the way, shout out to the O'Bannons, right? Like, this was their baby.
UCLA,
Yeah.
not SC, man. And, you know, we always just SC.
Yeah.
But shout out to Ed O'Bannon.
Yeah.
I think, you know, when you think about the history of UCLA and you think about the history of UCLA basketball players, there's always some opinion, some thought, some challenge, some, you know, protests, right? That all of the great UCLA players have always kind of like fought counterculture.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Dating
And-
back to Walton, of course.
Yeah.
Dating
And
back to
Kareem.
Walton
Yep.
and Kareem.
Yeah.
And so we've always had this, you know, this angle of trying to see clarity, you know what I mean, or what is justifiable or justice.
Yeah.
And Ed O'Bannon, it happened on a video game.
Right. A video game
So
that was
all of this happened from a video game that was past his due date.
and super popular, by the way, that video game.
It was
Yeah.
one of the best video games
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
And they can't bring it
Right.
back.
Yeah. The football or the basketball.
Right,
Yeah.
but when you think about somebody like that, he looked up one day and said, "All right, enough is enough."
Yeah.
Because yes, you're marketing our jersey. Yes, you're selling tickets to the game, but now EA Sports gets to sell 5 million copies of a game that there's no collecting
Right.
bargaining.
Yeah.
There's no employee pool. It's different with the NFL.
Yeah.
It's different with the NBA.
Yeah.
Right.
Licensing
You get a
and stuff.
licensing
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
So like you're basically licensing my rights, right, as a student athlete to make a profit off of a game
And I get
that I do not own or control or
Right.
play. I play basketball. I'm here as a student athlete. That makes sense. I'm not here for marketing and licensing deals on behalf of the university.
So, speaking of marketing and licensing deals, I notice you're wearing your own brand here today.
I love it.
Black
Yeah.
Santa.
Diddy Claus.
Okay,
Diddy
Black
Claus.
Santa. And just as an entrepreneur, I already got an idea for you,
Okay.
which is we're going to add to Black Santa. Let's do Jewish Santa too.
Absolutely.
And then I'll rock that jacket. Okay. I mean, and then the red hat becomes the yarmulke. I'm just coming up with ideas.
No, he has a partner. It's the Minch on the bench.
Oh, there
bench
we
on the
go.
bench.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah,
Bench on the
yeah,
bench.
yeah.
That's right.
So
tell us
that's-
about your own deal here.
Man, but a Latino man, and what the culture of multi